In some past videos, I've spoke about the past life regression I experienced while in deep meditation, probably 3 or 4 years ago when this first happened. I would do deep meditations out in nature and in the grass, and it was unexpected. I would like to also say not everyone will resonate with what I'm going to talk about here with the esoteric or the metaphysical, that sort of thing. If you're interested in the subject, take what resonates, leave the rest, or this just may not be something you believe in, and I understand that as well. But these are my experiences, and I thought I would share some more today because I had quite the meditative experience today, which I did not expect. And it just brought back to the forefront for me that I believe my gender dysphoria is predominantly related to this past life of being a female that experienced SA and was traumatized and had a very lustful life. A lot of it probably stemmed from the SA, and then there was abuses later through her life or my life as well. And I believe what happened was there's the idea of cellular debris that can carry over into another lifetime, and I believe that this is stored in my cells in DNA, that it's carried over now. That trauma is carried over, and I believe that's where the gender dysphoria is mainly manifesting from. I got to thinking about it more intense today because, well, yesterday I was having a very depressive day. I was feeling out of sorts. I'd been having a lot of lustful thoughts about men and women, and I was feeling in my feminine a lot, but also a lot of lust mixed in throughout all of that as well. And I've also spoke to you all about being on semen retention, and right now 59 days with that as well, which I also believe is helping me. Even through yesterday's depression, it would not let me sink into a total hole. That energy has accumulated so much that even though I felt bad, I only sunk so low. I didn't sink as low as I could in the past without doing retention. So anyway, I woke up today and it felt like my timeline had just shifted, which will happen when you're cultivating energy. Your timeline will jump around. And today it was like that. The energy felt completely different. And I felt better as I got up. And I got some sun in the window. I find right now, this time of year, around 3:30 to 4:30, out one of my front windows, that I can get a direct bead almost on the sun. And I've talked about the importance of the sun before. You don't want to just bake in it, but you want to get so much of it, get it near your eyes. Don't stare directly into it, but get it near your eyes. Let it hit your face. And you'd be shocked at how much better you feel, even if you do that for 10 or 15 minutes. I'll go back and forth with the window for minutes at a time doing it. And then what I did after that was I decided to open the door. I didn't go to the park today. Some days I go to the park. But today I decided to open my door, get some fresh air in, turned off the lights, sat on the couch, and I said, you know what, I haven't done a deep meditation in a while. So with this accumulation of energy I have now, tomorrow will be 2 months, 60 days, which is a lot to be able to do on semen retention, especially if it's something you ever try and you're a beginner at it. But that energy helps a lot with meditation. It helps going into higher realms of vibration and frequency pretty quick too, if you practice meditation a little bit. So anyway, what I did was I had the idea that I wanted to clear my energy from all the lust I've been going through. And I'm not saying lust is not normal. It's normal for us to have attraction and normal for us to want to be intimate, things like that. But I also think it can be detrimental, like other things where we can get addicted, just depending on how far you take it. And I've been trying to clean up my energy more lately, and been trying to, as I've told you all in past videos, trying to integrate the gender dysphoria, because I believe it's this past life mainly that it stems from. So in the meditation, I was clearing the energy off of me, which basically what I'll do is everyone has their own beliefs, but I believe we're reincarnated and come from a source energy. You can call it God if you want to. I don't think it's a spooky figure that's judging us and going to send us to some hell, but I do think it's where we go back to when we pass away as a soul. And I think we probably have something like a life review, and we may spend time there for a while, and then we go into another lifetime. Our soul will go into another lifetime. The life review is for the purposes of, would be for the purposes of learning what we just went through, and maybe looking that over before going into a new lifetime, that sort of thing. So kind of lost my train of thought there, but anyway, back to the meditation. In the meditation, I was tapping in, that was it. I was tapping into the source. What I'll do is I'll envision bringing in light to my body or through the crown of my head, bringing it down. You block out thoughts. I'll just hear noises in the background, but I'm not thinking of anything specifically. You do that for a little bit to ground yourself, bring the light in, and then it gets deeper as you go along to where that frequency and vibration feels higher, and it feels more clean and more clear. It's the best way I can explain it to you. So then once I got that all cleared up and start clearing out these cobwebs from the lust and the different things I've been experiencing lately, getting that all kind of cleared out of my head, then what I started to do is envision myself in the past life, as I've done when I first saw myself in that life 3 or 4 years ago, in that regression that happened to me. And what I was trying to do here is do this to integrate more, because what happened, what I realized was a few months ago, I had been on retention, semen retention I went 56 days. And during that time, I had been watching another spiritual teacher. She calls herself the Alchemist. I think her name is Sarah Elkhaldy. I think that's right. You can look her up on YouTube, but she really brought to my attention more about cellular debris, because I was trying to find information on past life gender dysphoria connection. And I thought maybe she would have some information on it, and I found some other past life information, but Sarah stuck out to me because earlier in her life, she felt like she might have been a trans male, and she had gender dysphoria earlier in her life, and she had a connection to source and a lot of the concepts I'm talking about very early in life. So she came to the conclusion, after researching and going through spiritual practice or meditations and things like that, she realized that she had had a past life as a male. Maybe it was more than one past life she was remembering, but she felt like that had carried over in cellular debris, and that was also the cause for her having gender dysphoria. Now, I'm not saying everyone has gender dysphoria from past lives. I think some people are also meant to transition. I think we all have different life paths of what we're supposed to do in a particular lifetime. I think sometimes we come into a life and we're totally meant to have that experience of being a trans man or woman. So I just think we all have different experiences. But Sarah came to the conclusion that she should integrate that in this lifetime, that she felt like she was supposed to integrate what being a male in the past life, whatever trauma was left over from that life that carried over into her current female life, she was to integrate it, and that's what she's done. The thing is, when you watch her, you can see the male traits in her. I mean, she looks female, but you can also see those male traits mixed in with her. You can notice it. It's interesting how she's integrated herself. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at a little bit, where I've mixed my feminine traits from the past life that's been stored, that I'm trying to integrate and mix it. But sometimes I can get overwhelmed with who I was. And that's what today's meditation showed me. So basically, Sarah was talking about meditating to integrate and doing deep breathing. Like you'll breathe in, like hold the breath, hold it like 7 seconds, 8 seconds at least. If you can hold it longer, do it. But what it does is it clears your head more and can elevate your frequency more. And that deep breathing helps bring in more clarity to where you can focus more on the integration. So this is what it had come to my awareness a few months ago with that, and I noticed my masculine traits had picked up and doing the semen retention during that time period. And ever since then, I had wondered, why is my gender dysphoria, why has it escalated so much like it currently has in the last few weeks or so? And I think looking back is because some things just suddenly happened. I left my job because, well, I've been cultivating my energy. I've been elevating my vibration and frequency through semen retention, through focusing on my eating habits a little more, focusing on my energy more, and bringing that in more. So what happened at my job, the timeline changed. Hostility was created because I wasn't on the same frequency anymore with the place. I wasn't on the same frequency with the manager anymore, or people coming in there hardly anymore. And oftentimes when that happens, it'll create hostility in a place. If you elevate out of that situation, then it can rub other people the wrong way, and they don't even know why they're being rubbed the wrong way. So I believe that's totally what happened there. He started getting hostile toward me, the manager, when he was always really nice most of the time, hired a hostile employee. That I'm not the only one that quit. 2 other women that worked there quit with me. We all quit within a week because of this hostile guy and the GM. But this is an example of what was going on with me, but it still created some chaos with me because, okay, suddenly my safety was in jeopardy. I left the job. There was some worry. There was some energetic disturbance with me because of all of that. But what I found since leaving that job, I've been cultivating my energy more. Even though I'm in the unknown, I don't know exactly where I'm working next or this or that, but my energy has been overall better. And I've been working on cultivating that. So everything else has kind of been better since then. But the gender dysphoria, I couldn't get an understanding of why it's so elevated all of a sudden, why it became so elevated. And next thing you know, I'm feeling much more feminine again. I'm feeling out of sorts. I'm seeing myself in the mirror, and I'm seeing more woman than man. I have this tendency sometimes to get in a lustful state, and I'll get on my bed. I'm not going to get too detailed here, but I'll pose. And when I'm posing, I'm noticing my female attributes, which, yes, I'm a male. I'm not on hormones, but I feel like I also carried over a little bit of what I had physically too from the past life. I mean, my height, like 5'6", and my stature, I'm a small guy. when I see myself in the mirror, the way I pose, I was like, wow, if you had hormones, it would tweak you you would only need to be tweaked a little bit and you would pass. With facial hair removal and a little tweaking, I think I would pass. So I see that and I get in this state, but it's like what I'm thinking now again is that who I was in the past life overwhelms me now. So when I was doing that meditation earlier, that's what started coming to me again. And that's what had come to me a few months ago when I was watching Sarah's videos. I had realized I was able to separate my past life from now. But somewhere along the line in the last month or two, I wasn't able to separate it again. The past life started overwhelming through my system again, and my cells and my DNA start coming back out in a very powerful way. So in the meditation, what I was able to do after a while is envision myself in the past life. And I give you an idea. I see who I was as someone with like very dark hair, black hair. Sometimes my hair looks darker, but sometimes it also can look kind of lighter and auburn or burgundy. Right now it looks a little darker. I've been oiling it a little bit. But in any case, in that life, what I always see is black hair, and we're about the same height. She was pretty and small but bustier. Bigger butt, a little bit bigger thighs, bustier up top. But in some ways we look similar in ways. So what I did, which I was not able to do in other meditations, is I've tried to show love to that life before, energy to that life, to the trauma that happened in that life. But this time it was more powerful because I was able to envision holding myself, holding her, which was me. Basically, it was interesting holding her against me from her back or my back. It's like holding myself. I know it sounds definitely sounds bizarre in ways. I get that. But anyway, holding myself against me from that life like this and saying, I've got you. I know what happened. We're not in that time anymore. We're not in that timeline anymore. We're here and now. We are the same. I see you. I see the trauma you went through. I don't see specific instances, but I get the emotional resonance of what I feel like was childhood SA. I get there was abuses throughout adulthood, and there was a very lustful state, but a lot of it also created in a detrimental way and in that lifetime from the abuse. And then there was further abuses in adulthood that happened as well. And what I get is that life ended tragically. I don't know if it was from unaliving or another means, but an unfulfilled life that ended I feel like in a tragic way and unresolved. And now it comes over into me now. And in this meditation was the first time I was able to really just hold, I say her, but me against me and say, I got you, I feel you, I understand, and just remember that's done. We're here. We're here right now. So what happened after the meditation and doing that for a while, I felt a lot of peace. And I was once again, like a few months ago, able to separate me now from that past life. And it's like, wow, okay. So every time I'm posing in the mirror, I'm really seeing her or me from that past life. I'm trying to live. This is what I thought before a few months ago. It came back to me. That life's overpowering me now, and I'm trying to. That's why I'll get so dysphoric. I'll look in the mirror and see pieces of who I was. And I'm like, you're not this, it'll get frustrating because that lifetime will overpower me. That personality I was then will overpower me. And it's like I'm trying to see who I was then. And I see pieces of it in the mirror, some of the attributes left over, but I'm like, it's not all there, and I get frustrated. But now I realize this is what's happening, and I'm realizing it again now. So when I'm able to separate it, then I suddenly come back into a different clarity of like the dysphoria lessons. Now, I'm not telling you either, I've said this before when I've talked about this, will it stay lessened? I don't know, because it could heighten tonight, it could heighten tomorrow, but I just know by doing this practice again and being able to see it again clear through meditation and realizing this, it changes the whole perspective. So I think I pose to see my old self, and then the dysphoria of a lot of my dysphoria is just wanting to live life, wanting to try to get some kind of resolution for that life that didn't have any resolution. So now in this meditation, that was powerful, with holding myself, saying it's okay, we're here now, and we're part of the same, we're the same soul, we're here. And what I'm wanting to do is maybe be able to keep a focus on this so I can integrate it and try to bring the feminine and masculine in the mix together, kind of how I kind of am now, but bring it in more solid. I'm not saying I'll be successful. I don't know. There's always a chance that it's too much of a battle for me. I will admit that it could end up being that way, and I'll still want to transition anyway. But I do feel like we're recognizing this and focusing more on it through a meditative practice. If I can do that, I have a better chance of integrating it and trying to bring it in more, and maybe I can be more at peace. So I just wanted to share that experience with you today of what happened, and again, I do think I was able to have that strong of a meditation through my energy cultivation, through sunlight, through I get up and I ate some edamame, soybeans, really good for you. I ate some almonds, I ate an apple. Like I've told you guys before, the worst thing I do is lately is eat ice cream. There's worse things. I have black coffee. Now some people think coffee's bad, but that's my other vice. I've had coffee for a long time, black coffee, but I try to have better coffees. So ice cream, coffee, but had edamame, almonds, an apple. I've been having eggs a lot lately because eggs are a superfood, and I've been eating more of them. I had 8 eggs yesterday, 8 scrambled eggs. But you got to understand too, I'm not eating a whole bunch of other stuff throughout the day. I'm not eating 3 meals a day. I'm not eating, I think that's garbage. I don't think you have to have 3 meals a day unless you're going to eat really small. But to eat 3 full meals a day, oh, I can't imagine. I could see eating snacks throughout the day, little things. And I'm not talking about chips and processed stuff all day either. That's what I'm saying. I don't eat all that stuff. I haven't even had fast food, and God knows I can't even remember how long. I crave it sometimes, but I just don't tend to have it. So anyway, energy cultivation. If you resonate with any of this and you want to try to have past life regression, or you want to just try to get into a clearer state of peace, and you're trying to meditate and go up to higher frequencies, things like that, there's other things that can help you. Good food, some sunlight, some exercise, cut negative people out of your life when possible, because they'll rip your energy too. If you're around too many negative forces, your energy will get ripped. So yeah, and I guess that's all I got for now, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.